Does everyone remember this thrill of a game that came out in like the elementary days? Because I certainly remember this very well, and I've been wanting to cover it on this channel, so I am blessed to finally make a video about Geometry Dash. What's up everybody, this is Willie, and for today's video, I'm going to be ranking every Robtop level on a tier list based around my personal enjoyment with the levels factoring in its gameplay, design, and I guess slightly its music as well. So I'll just be going through each level chronologically and sharing where I would personally rate them on this list. We obviously begin with Stereo Madness, and it's just so standardized, easygoing. I mean, it's an easy level to begin with, but hey, a solid introduction to what the gameplay is gonna be. And although it comes off very rudimentary, I still personally would have a lot of nostalgia for this level because it really kickstarted the tone of what this game was gonna be. And it's just a fun first level as well, where if you play this in like a retrospective way, there's not much boredom that you can get with it because you have that thought of this being the first ever level and experiencing the thrill out of it. So I think I'd place this in A because in essence of what I said, I think it's what makes this really a highlight of Geometry Dash. Back on track, the hardest demon in the world. Not really, but yeah, it's probably on very iconic level too, just because it introduces the jump pads, which is such a significant element in this game, alongside introducing traps that these boosters can necessitate as well, meaning it's a double-edged sword in that spot. Along with all of this, the music is just everything. I love the piano rhythm to this. It is by far an icon and one of the most memorable to me from this game. So I think it's solid enough to qualify it as an A tier level. Apologize or poltergeist, whatever how you say it, it's just a fine level. I mean, it introduces us to jump orbs where you have to click on it so the cube can progress further. And I like that introduction of it, but I do think the level overall does kind of wane down the fun a bit, especially around the middle stretch where, I mean, the music does make it exciting, but even then, the music is not really the most outstanding in the world. I mean, besides the din 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 part, I didn't really have much to note from it, so yeah, I'm putting it a bit low, probably placed on the C tier. Dry Out. It's a solid level, introduces us the upside down, or I should say reverse gravity, which is obviously adding more difficulty to the gameplay, and it does make things a lot more cool and interesting. And that's basically the most significant part that I could take away from this level, because everything else is just standardized and an essence of what we already encountered earlier, but just elevating more of the competition with them parts, which is what I like too. And the music is just alright. I mean, for some reason, my favorite part is the end stretch with the piano melody, because I guess I love the more relaxing tune. So yeah, I think I'll put this at B, where I did say a lot of positive things about it, but the problem is that I don't think this episode can be as super significant down the road in comparison to the other ones above. So that's that. Base after base. Okay, I have seen YouTubers put this level pretty low, and I will say I do agree. It is a pretty low tier level because it just does not offer anything much significance to it. And that is integrated by the fact that there's no new feature that this level entails at all. Which, albeit by saying, you know, I could just say the part where the jump or are in line with the beat, that's not even anything that's gameplay related. And nothing against the music, I don't mind it, but it's also not one that's really significant and helps its case for base after base. So unfortunately for this level, I'm putting it at D. Alright, can't let go. I cannot let go at the fact that some people for some reason put this very low on the ranking, which, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but in my eyes, no. And my personal ranking is a complete contrast to that. I am shockingly putting it on the S tier. Why? Well, although this level doesn't really offer much new as well, I think it's just base after base done right with more interesting competition and fun parts as well. And yes, I do get a lot of players get PTSD from the upside down part, but you know what? I have a lot of enjoyment as well, since it really brought a lot of challenge to it as well, and after like practice you would finally be able to get a hang of it more and to iterate. Although this level doesn't feature something new, I could say a maybe mild addition is featuring jump pads in the orbs in an upside down section, considering base after base and Dry Out did not have any of those, but that's not even a big change. And on top of that, the music, oh, it's wonderful, iconic, fantastic melody. It is certainly my jam. But yeah, a personal favorite of mine, and has some cooler challenges to it, so that warrants it to the top tier. Okay, Jumper. Let's just jump to the conclusion. I believe this is a B. Reason? Well, I think it's because it's a decent episode, has some fun bits to it, that does have a lot of jumping involved, which is suited for its titling, but also because this level features the ability to fly upside down, or let's say for any sort of form the cube becomes, so that's a very neat touch to it. But I do think the level does stretch out a bit too much in a way that does kind of bore me at points, like around the back half in the normal gravity cube. It was kind of like a drag in a way when we could have just simply got right away to the upside down bit, and that would have been it. But it is what it is, so I'm just gonna have Jumper in the B tier. Time Machine, okay, I get it's a painful level in such ways because a lot of parts are just so difficult, and I get the fair share of that, but I do think there are some cool things with this level as well. But it also entails a new feature, which is the mirror portal, and I'll say it probably might be up there as one of the worst sort of features because I don't think it really makes that big of an impact, and even then, people rarely use them in their custom-made levels, so that's already an indicative of how insignificant this feature is. On top of that, it did kind of get annoying when we kept on going back and forth. Like, yes and no, it's trying to stay in line with the music to really put emphasis on its build-up, but still, there could have been things done better. But hey, you know, talk about music, I think it's one where it doesn't seem really notable until its end part where it truly makes its mark, so I do like the excitement factor into this, but overall, some annoying gameplay parts do drop this down a bit. I'll just put it at B. Cycles, oh my god, the music is so soothing and relaxing. Like seriously, I just feel a new vibe with this level, and I think the beginning does really give that sort of tone, and it builds up to what really is a challenging level, which I know there are hard parts, especially the ship level, but after some practice you can get some hang of it, and it's pretty cool how it was structured as well, so props to Robtop. And also the feature of the ball, finally a new mode in this game, is definitely a good one as well, because then we can add a lot more fun strategy with how to maneuver the obstacles, and I think that's pretty cool as well. So with all this, I personally think I should have Cycles at the top of the A tier, because the music is so peaceful at the beginning, and everything else with the gameplay is just so special to me. X-Step, okay, I do like the build up with the music, and I guess the feature of jump pads that switch your gravity, but for my personal opinion, I'm putting it at the bottom of my Robtop level ranking, because quite frankly, this level, I don't personally find it memorable. Like, when I think about Geometry Dash, levels that would come to the top of my head are like, oh, Stereo Madness, Back on Track, Can't Let Go, even some after this, but X-Step, who even really talks about it? Furthermore, I feel like some of the gameplay is just really boring to me. Like, the level really drags out too much, and that's certainly blatant with how stretched out it is. And around the second ball segment, from 70%-ish to 90, it's just like, bro, you're really dragging out this level a bit too much. Like, we could just skip this and go to the ship, and that would be it. Like, no, you have to really stretch it out with this part that just bores me. So yeah, maybe a bit of a hot take, but I think this is probably the most boring level of Geometry Dash, so I put this at the bottom tier. Clutter Funk, which I hear a lot of its significance comes down to its very funky music, which, yeah, at the start was a bit annoying, but then it really goes dubstep, and it truly changes the basing of the music to be more outstanding, so I like that aspect. The gameplay itself is very cool as well. I mean, we get the feature of the mini cube, which again, very challenging because it goes really quick, and when combining it with different modes like the ship and ball and other sorts, it's definitely a challenging struggle, but hey, there's some fun in that as well. And yeah, the level is not blatantly dragged out, unlike X-Stop. But yeah, there can be some parts that have a lot of complexity to them. So the question is where I would place this. Maybe at the B tier, because there is more of note with this level. There you have everything. Alright, we get another nice piano-esque instrumented music, very mystical, but likewise memorable for its introduction to the UFO, which I actually personally love this mechanic because you're really practicing on how to optimize your jumps, and strategizing how you can navigate is something that I like from this game. So this is another mode that is so ideal for this game to feature. But yeah, everything about the level is unique. The UFO, the brief build up to the breakdown part, which is just so epic, and the level really doesn't lose any of its luster whatsoever. Definitely suits itself for the A tier. Electroman Adventures. Oh my god, the Mega Man vibe to it with its music. Definitely chef's kiss right there. And the gameplay is a bit cool as well. Where I mean that the level doesn't really feature much new besides some new spikes and blocks that are breakable, but that's just minor. But hey, this level is basically like another Base After Base-esque level done right to make it more interesting. Where I didn't mention it, where I feel like Base After Base was a level that was just an essence of everything featured up to this point in one level, and I feel like this level does the same but more unique. Although I can say the mirror part definitely was a bit painful alongside the repetitive UFO ship. Like that pattern kind of started getting stale, but thankfully it returned back to the queue and made the level more interesting again, alongside the music really feeling like it's reaching its resolution too. So that's unique. Another one that warrants itself in the A tier. Our first theme into list, Club Step. Okay, all of us know how much of a huge hurdle we had with even completing this level, but hey, you know, it's that exam that Robtop's trying to give us, like, hey, you clearly completed all these harder levels, prior to this one. Now's your time to really test if you can get through an insanely harder one with lots of complicated segments, and I'll say those segments are pretty fabulous. The introduction of invisible blocks and spikes are something that does have to greatly practice your sight reading skills, which, I mean, to be fair, Geometry Dash is all about sight readings, but I think this feature kind of contextualizes why you need to embody that skill in this game. So I love the aspect right there, alongside some really cool parts like the mini ball, the amount of mini ships there is, which, I mean, to be fair, can get very complicated, but it's fascinating too, and get your hands on really what demons are going to be, not only by how Robtop makes them, but anyone who makes them in Geometry Dash. So without going any further, I think the level is solid enough as it is, though not really with a very notable song either, so putting this at the top of the B tier. Electrodynamics. I shall say it is a very electrifying level, but you know, it inherently has its painful difficulties as well, and that stems from the fact that it features the speed change where you got 2 times and 3 times speed, which really complicates things in this game. But actually, it does make this level really fun to play, having some strong dynamic gameplay and a strong little practice for how you are able to adapt to the speed changes as well. Song-wise, it's pretty strong as well, but not really to the peak that I would have wanted it to bring, but oh well, it is still a nice song that fits this level pretty decently. So this level is hard for where I truly would land it, but I think B is the best that I can put it at, since it is a fun level, but I also don't think I would value replaying it over the ones that I put it below. Alright, on to Hexagon Force. Holy crap, this one was epic. I don't talk much about the decorations, but the decor is incredible here too, alongside of its introduction of slopes, which is very unique to this game. But obviously the most memorable introduction is the dual gameplay, where you have to navigate 2 characters instead of 1, which I know there can be annoyance with it because you can't really focus on 2, and I even have my fair share of problems with it, even if I play custom-made levels featuring it. It's hard, but hey, it is interesting. Alongside the music, and if you were asking me which one I think is the best music from the Robtop levels, I would have to select Hexagon Force because it gives some sort of that battling theme to it, which I love. I adore every second of how this theme played out, giving such great dramaticness to it too by the end of it. I vibe with this one hard. This level is awesome, and by far, I am putting it on the top of the S tier. Fantastic gameplay, amazing music, and overall, great aesthetic. Blast processing. Oh, I love this one too. The music is great as well. Like, my personal favorite part of the music is when it plays from the first ship and ball segments, which is around early in the level, but hey, very distinct and enjoyable to listen to. The gameplay is good too. We are introduced to the wave, where I think most fans would love this game mode, and I have a fair share of that. It's basically a mode that works similar to a ship, but you're pretty much zigzagging, and basically it subjects itself into becoming such a challenging mode that you just have so much fun really navigating through the level. Not to say, but this level does stretch out a bit too much. We're on the parts where we're just going all over the place, like from ship to ball to UFO and back to ship. Like, okay, you're really going in circles here. And I feel like some of those segments are forgettable too, but you know what? They at least have more challenge to them that I like. So props to the effort of Robtop. I had such a blast with this level, even completing it around my first few tries, so this is by far an easy A. Theory of Everything 2. I love the level too. Obviously it's the second demon, so it's pretty hard, and I do struggle a lot with completing a level because it's mostly from the beginning. Like, the UFO part is extremely tight, and it's the most complicated for me personally. Like, I can handle most of the other parts, but the UFO is just gonna take me time to really get a hang of it. But yeah, on top of that, the music is also very mystical as well. Love the piano vibes as always, and I think I love how it goes dubstep around the mid portion of the level when we transition into the first wave, where it's basically saying, hey, you've reached the climax, now let's give these players the intense feeling through this part. But yeah, good practice and your skills are going to be good. I love Toe 2. Very nuanced level dynamics in pretty much every aspect. I think this is another one that's an easy A. Geometrical Dominator. I like it. Has a very thrilling music to it, giving that arcade sort of vibe. But one of the things that are of note from this level is the introduction of moving objects, which now really leverages custom levels to trick players. And that part is pretty fun. It can be a true testament to how you can really read what's coming next in those levels. But alongside that, we are also featured the robot, where you can basically jump as high as you can. So that allows players to strategize with how they navigate. Alongside the aesthetic, giving that Mario sort of vibes to it is pretty neat. And I think a lot of YouTubers do talk about the Mario sort of feeling they get from this level as well. So hey, I guess Robtop is trying to get us on the same page here. A great diversity of modes utilized in this level as well. The dark part, yeah, it's not the most funnest in the world since you really are banking on your sight reading reflexes, where I think this part really takes that too much to the extreme and can get annoying. But you know what, I think this level offers so much to this game, so I would put this in the A tier. Deadlocked. I'm going to lock this in as an easy A tier level because it's one that I think people highly anticipated, and so far in my opinion it delivered. Yes, it's hard, it's a very difficult level considering it's a demon with the highest stars, but yeah, it's epic. It is really like the biggest testament to your skills in Geometry Dash and combining every single hardest obstacle Geometry Dash can have in one level, and if you are able to complete this, you can feel the gratification that yeah, you are truly mastering at Geometry Dash. I mean, for what this level really offers, I mean, we get some extreme boss battles, which is a really nice touch to add to Geometry Dash, making it so, hey, there is something that can be of note with your journey in the levels. But you know, there was things that I felt like kind of exceeded a bit too much from what Deadlock encompassed, so that does put this level down a bit. But to encapsulate where I would rate this level, I think it's a solid A. Finger Dash. A level that I was really anticipating hard for because there were so many new things that this level was offering, and I mean, they are good on paper, but then the execution of how the level played out, not really the most satisfying in the world, but it's still pretty dynamic and a cool aesthetic alongside the feature of the spider, which to be honest is just a ball, but it has teleportation abilities, so I guess there is much more of a distinction there, but not like there isn't similarities with the ball too. And in speaking of, the ball literally has no segment in this level as well, which I personally find funny because I guess it's just trying to put more highlight on the spider, like, oh hey, ignore its similarities to the ball, it's its own thing that is much more unique than it. So yeah, and the music is okay. I mean, I did listen to the full version before the level came out, and I was kind of underwhelmed how Robtop put it together because there was a lot more fun parts in the song that could have been in the level, but it just wasn't included, so that's underwhelming. So although the music does bring the level down, I do think everything else elevates it, so the best place to put this at is the A tier. Dash. Oh wait, before we even get to the level, I might as well talk about the title itself, where I have a very strong nitpick with it, where the name feels so lazy. Like, why are you just calling the level Dash when we just had a level called Finger Dash as well? Like, if you wanted to have some similar names, at least add something more to it. Like, you could have said like Dash Destroyers or some sort of verb after the word dash. Like, come on, man. Make things more interesting. But hey, the level itself is actually interesting. It offers a lot of new features to it too, which we already had an idea of thanks to Geometry Dash Sub-Zero, but still, this level really truly brings it to life in such ways that Sub-Zero didn't. And on top of that, the feature of the swing copter gameplay, which, I mean, to be fair, it's just like a ball and ship combined together, and I don't think it really adds too much uniqueness to it. But hey, you won't need to use a duel involving a ball having to float in the air, so I guess that's Robtop's way of rectifying that element. The level itself is fascinating. There's a lot of things that's happening that makes the gameplay so cool. So all in all, Dash is really a good level, but does encompass its flaws, that does have a lot of overexposure to it. So I think I would just put this at the A tier. Now I guess I should rate the tower levels as well because they are on the template I'm using. So we start off with D Tower, and it's an easygoing level, just straightforward and standardized, just easy obstacles you can maneuver, just an introduction to the style of what this part of the game entails, and that you can roam around free. It has solid gameplay, but personally it doesn't resonate with me as much as the mainline Geometry Dash levels, so I'm prompted to place this in the C tier. The sewer. Okay, slightly harder. Does start off pretty normal at first, but then you get to the somewhat boss fight where you have to avoid the spikes underneath. And yes, the gameplay there can get a bit frustrating at points. However, it is a testament to your skill on how you can react quick, which is pretty generic in games like this. But yeah, the difficulty was slightly not the greatest, but I do think this level does have some cool features to it too. Unfortunately, because of my criticisms with how the whole boss fight was structured, which was not done in a fun way, I don't really have it in high regard, so I'm just gonna put this at the lower end of the C tier. The Cellar. Who even remembers this? Like legit, for the sake of the footage I had to use, I had to replay it a little just to get an idea of what it entailed, and now that my memory is refreshed a bit, I can say it's still not the greatest in the world either. I just think the whole gameplay is just meh. I mean, there is some cool stuff. Obviously, the robot section is pretty well stylized, but everything else is just easily forgettable for me. So, easy C tier level that goes on the bottom of it. And finally, the Secret Hollow. Okay, in my opinion, I actually would have this ranked higher than any of the tower levels because it had some very interesting gimmicks featured in it as well. I like how certain sections had some nice callbacks to previous games that it would remind me of, like the whole key section where we had those monsters roaming around. It was definitely giving me those Pac-Man feelings, and then the battle with the cursed form, in my personal interpretation, Reminds me of those Papa Louie attack games where you're fending off randomly managed where he strikes you with missiles, and one of those missiles you can ricochet at him to attack him. And that's kind of the same thing with the Cursed Form, where one of those fireballs you can ricochet at him and he'll lose health from it. I mean, yes, the Cursed Form battle is a bit annoying at points, and I obviously had a huge struggle with even completing it, but I at least have more thrill with trying to complete it and really testing out my skills, unlike the sewers, which I just found that more agitating. So with that, I definitely would put this at the bottom of the B tier. So that is my tier list. Now remember, we all have different opinions, so you may not agree with my takes, and that's alright. Feel free to share your opinions on how you rate them as well. Feel free to comment down below if you like, and speaking of, like this video and subscribe if you want more videos like this where I would rank any sort of media that I'm familiar with. That is all I've got to say. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.